Welcome back for another book talk video. It's Magical Monday, and I am super excited. I am just hyped to talk to you about The Shadow of the Gods by John Gwynne. I want to thank Orbit Books, the publishing company, and John Gwynne for letting me have an ebook of this amazing novel ahead of release. It is coming out on May 4th. You can pre-order online right now, and I highly recommend that you do to make sure that you have a copy of this book, hopefully arriving on May 4th for you to read. Oh, it was just so exciting. So wonderful to read. Let me get into it. First of all, 5 stars, no doubt. John Gwynne has written a book that deserves the hype that it has been getting. The cover is just amazing. Looking at that artwork that was done for the cover with the enormous dragon and the tiny little man confronting the dragon, I said, that is perfect. That looks like epic fantasy. That looks like the kind of book that I want to read. This looks like a rather thick book. It's over 500 pages. Ooh, there's so much that I want to say. Let me look at my notes. I actually wrote down some quotes while I was reading the book. All right, here we go. First of all, my favorite quote from the book. I'm not going to tell you what characters it involves. What are you going to do with them, mistress? I'm going to find the owner of these blades and give them back to him. Oh my goodness. The main characters in this story are warriors. This book is like Norse mythology mixed in with the best writing of fantasy. There are these terrifying creatures. Beware the nightworms. They're all kind of fun fantasy monsters in here. From a version of trolls to these nasty nightworms that can kill you in your sleep to all kinds of snake-like and winged serpents and reptiles and various things, so it's a lot of fun. At the same time, those creatures do not overpower the story. The story has 3 different points of view that shift from chapter to chapter, and I love that. That's my favorite way that point of view is to be handled in a novel. Those 3 main characters, my favorite of the 3 is Orca. She's got a family, and that's a lot of fun in a fantasy novel. To actually have this warrior woman with her warrior husband raising their kid and trying to survive. It's really amazing how that story progresses. There's Elvar, who is another awesome warrior woman. She is part of this group, the Battle Grim, and they're warriors that travel from place to place. She has a much better sense of ethics and honor, I think, than the people in charge. And, that creates conflict, creates interesting character development. And then the third main point of view is Varg. He is a former thrall. Thralls are slaves, really, people who are captured and enslaved. He finds himself joining the Bloodsworn. And this is called Book 1 of the Bloodsworn. So, there's plenty more coming in the future for that concept. I love Varg as a character because he is somewhat naive. He's this big, strong, kind of boxing guy that's used to fighting with his fist, but he's joining a group that fights with axes and swords and spears, and so they make fun of him a lot in what is not a mean way necessarily, more of a training the new guy kind of way. You get to see Varg progress and learn how to use the weapons and how to engage in combat and how to be a part of this group on his own journey that he's going through. Things that I really liked about the book, instead of saying brain, the characters say thought cage, and that cracked me up. The kind of inside language now. Fans of John Gwynne talking about this book talk about their thought cages. Let me tell you, my thought cage is filled with joy from this reading. Also, there's great combat. The combat is done really well, and that is something that I like to measure a sci-fi or fantasy book by. I just really enjoy the way that John Gwynne does the combat in these books. Whether it's a simple fight one-on-one for some sort of honorable reason, or whether it's a larger battle with a lot of people involved, it's described really well, and I think that as a reader you can understand it as well as a character who'd be in that situation would be able to understand it. If you can't tell by the excitement in my voice, I just had a lot of fun reading it. Highly recommend the book. Get yourself a copy, The Shadow of the Gods by John Gwynne. If you enjoy fantasy stories, this is epic. Every day is a good day for a book talk. Peace.